99%. If you go to township and rural communities, you'll find young people either who have dropped out of school, matriculated, or graduates languishing at home without doing anything, because these young people, they are looking for opportunities and they can't find those opportunities. Some of them, they even became the discouraged job seekers. Evidently, with such a high number of youth that is unoccupied, the country is sitting on a powder keg waiting to explode. Ladies and gentlemen, last week the city hosted the annual National Building Convention here in Inkosi Albert Luthuli International Convention Center, where the built environment industry players and representatives from various municipalities shared best practices as they discussed the legislation that regulates the construction industry in our country. Attended by the Deputy Minister of Trade and Industry and Competition, Honorable Nomalungelo Gina, and convened by National Regulator for Compulsory Specification, the NRCS, the meeting provided a great platform for professionals, experts, and various stakeholders to exchange knowledge in the building, construction, and regulations environment. In one of the presentations, it was highlighted that eThekwini was still lagging behind when it comes to timeously approving building plans for business and property development. As a city that seeks to grow the economy and develop the infrastructure, we urgently need to address this issue. With our intervention of migrating to digital platforms, we hope that will also bring about solutions and also eliminate some unnecessary delays that are also involved. Colleagues, I mention this because we have seen in the recent past, following a number of disasters, that we need to ensure that we have systems in place that adequately respond to catastrophic events. We don't need to be lectured now. We know exactly what are the challenges that are presented by climate change. Now, all what is required is to put the systems to ensure that our action is also entails adaptation and mitigation that will ensure that we save people's lives. And we need to move with speed. Let's start from how we deal with our engineering. Our engineering should be up to a standard where we say whenever we receive heavy rainfalls, but our infrastructure will be able to resist. That resilience must be put in our plans. It shouldn't be that we need to rebuild, and when we are rebuilding, we just put the very same infrastructure which we used to have. So there must be a change, and that change must guarantee that we save people's lives. Whilst we do that, of course, taking care of the environment. We are not saying everything must become concrete. We still need to protect our own areas, the demos that we have identified, the demos areas. Therefore, we wish to tap into your expertise and knowledge, especially those of you in the built environment, so that you can adhere to the minimum standards of the National Building Regulations and Building Standard Acts. Our failure to act swiftly could cost us potential investors as they move to other cities. So we need to accelerate all our plans so that we give confidence to those who want to come and invest that indeed there will be return in their investments. And the investors, they have a very sharp nose to smell things which they may not even have return in their investment. So it's good if you give them guarantees that when they come to our city, they'll find roads in proper conditions, they'll find our stormwater drainage systems working, they'll find our waste water treatment plants working, not contaminating our beaches and the rivers. They'll find even the housing that are there attractive for them to generate the profit that they want to generate when they locate their own investment closer to those buildings. So that's how you attract them. Of course, on our political side, we need to guarantee political stability. Because the infrastructure may be good, everything may be up to standard, but if there's no political stability in the municipality, they won't have any interest to come and invest in our city. So it's important that we guarantee our investors all those things that they are looking for. But also how the city works with them when they've arrived. We have started a good program of having the CEOs forums, where we bring CEOs of big companies so that when they have challenges, we pick those challenges as early as possible. And we have also designated champions per each and every industry in the city and the institutions of higher learning so that we are able to be responsive to their own needs and interest. Ladies and gentlemen, in this regard, we hope that with your skills, you will be able to identify the root causes of these challenges and develop practical interventions that are based on scientific research. Ladies and gentlemen, on many occasions, I've raised the challenge of low productivity levels in the municipality and poor service delivery outputs. With a workforce of over 25,000, our committees are correct to expect that when they complain, we must respond on time and address their challenges immediately, looking at the staff complement that we have. But that is not happening, and we are looking forward in the systems that we are putting in place, including the zonal service delivery model that we want to put into motion. That it's important that with your expertise and knowledge, make inputs, how can we enhance such a model to work better for our communities, and how do we ensure that we put systems which are oiled and systems which will make residents of this city regain confidence to us as their city leadership and the institution. So it's important, therefore, that we want to plead with you to help us find new ways of doing things. We must create a credible service delivery model that will change the lives of our people for the better. When we undertake the process of reviewing our organizational structure, it's important to zoom in closely to check if is our structure enabling us to deliver as per the expectations of the residents. But you can't have bigger structures growing at the head offices, but on the ground, you are nowhere to be found. You know, when people they are looking for services, they need to go back to those offices because most of people are located there. And some of the people who are located there, we must conduct our studies. Some of them are no longer doing anything there because technology has kicked in. Some of them, they just, because there are no papers that are now flowing and all of that. So we need to repurpose the way their own expertise are directed so that we do not have a transmesh. We are raising this because we can't continue to have an engineer who is located, who works as a supervisor at the markets under business support. Doesn't make any sense. An engineer, he just makes sure that the number of all the apples and the bananas that are distributed there, everything, the balance sheet is happening, but the engineer. So that means we need to rationalize our team members because even the coaches do that in football. Let me talk about something that I know better, that I also play. So they even rationalize. They take Matoho, who used to be a defender, but when things are hard in the field, Matoho becomes a striker and he scores goals. If you count the number of goals that Matoho scored for Kaizer Chiefs, for Kaizer Chiefs, sorry, I think I made a mistake there, for Kaizer Chiefs. So there are many goals that he scored, but as a defender, so we are allowed to rationalize the team and say you can play a better role when you are located here than where you are, so that we make the city deliver to our residents. So let's do that. But we are also challenging you because the country has been struggling to find better solutions on how can we accelerate radical socio-economic transformation. I'm saying this because for 30 years, if you look at the statistics, they still reflect that the economy still lies on the hands of the minority. Now we need your expertise. What is it that is possible that we need to do to turn the tide around? We need to turn the tide around. There's no way we can remain with the status quo for more than 30 years. And we start complaining when people are marching, they are protesting because they are fighting for their rights, they need employment, they need economic opportunities, then we start becoming a complainant. And this term of saying that, because we need to correct these terms, this term of calling business forums the construction mafias is dislocated. Business forums, if they are giving challenge, they are business forums. Those who are asking for extortions, they are not mafias. They are business forums, but who've got the criminal element. Construction mafias are those who collude, big companies, who collude so that they suppress the growth and entry into the industry. Those are mafias. Those who can negotiate and tell the suppliers of material that now that Madlala is the one who has been appointed in this contract to execute it, so close the doors for Madlala. Up until Madlala, see no reason why he can't sell out this project. Hand it over to those people. They'll collude and say, yeah, raise the price of the material so that Madlala can't access it. Raise the price of the plant so that Madlala can't have a plant to execute this construction job. Those are mafias. So we need to correct these terms, because when you call business forums mafias, how are we going to call these others who are doing this mess? Which other name are we going to give it to them? The mafias are those who collude because they want to suppress competition. They want to ensure that they deal with those who are emerging. They suppress them, their growth, so that they are able to continue and monopolize the industry. That monopoly should be dealt with in that manner. So we need the solutions from you. Write papers, even a paper that can be written from eThekwini, but bringing solutions to international and the domestic problems that South Africa is faced with. That paper alone will make us as eThekwini shine. Bring those solutions there. Research these things. What is it? What interventions can really be applied to ensure that we provide solutions? We can't be a country that remain with challenges forever. There must be solutions. And we must listen from you. From the interventions, your proposals that you are making, when you put those proposals to us, you must listen because you have researched them. So we need to open up a space. This is the playground now. This inaugural event is going to be happening, but we want to see you after this event shining this city, making this city shine and raising the bar high. At this point, we want to wish Professor Deborah Roberts farewell after serving the people of eThekwini and South Africa with diligence that she displayed, with high level of discipline and high level of commitment and passion, with distinction in the climate change space. Let's give her a big round of applause. If you do not know, because I've been with her in international platforms, she doesn't rest when she's in those platforms. Everyone wants to come and take photos with Professor Deborah Roberts because of the work that she's been doing for the globe, not even for South Africa. So it shows you that we have an asset in the municipality. Maybe if an when you see Sibusiso Zuma on the road, on the streets, you just say, Zuma, adlule. But I was with him in Copenhagen. There, shops get closed, restaurants, hotels, they shut down. When they see Sibusiso Zuma there, they see their hero, they see their God. That's what they've been displaying when they see Professor Deborah Roberts, because of the role that she's been playing in that space. Your sterling work, Prof, has been recognized by the world over as you continue to provide guidance on climate change impacts and solutions. We are pleased that the University of Cape Town has also recognized your outstanding contribution globally by conferring you with an honorary doctorate. We wish you everything of the best during your retirement, and we will continue to tap into your fountain of wisdom. We are not going to be allowing you to rest. We'll be knocking in your house. Don't sleep. We are here. Please input. We need solutions. So colleagues, we need to build this city. We talk about the inner city regeneration program. That plan, we need people who have researched. We need people who can shape this CPD and make it look like any other international cities in the world. And they've been in the situation in which we find ourselves in. Your New York have been like this. Your Copenhagen have been like this. Your Boston have been like this. Detroit, they are still trying to move, So it says that there are possibilities that we can change and make this city what we want it to be. But we need your knowledge, we need your expertise, your inputs in ensuring that we shape this city to be what people of eThekwini would like to see. These days when you're a mayor and people, they see you on the street, the only thing that they see in you is the CPD. When they see Kaunda, nango lo Kaunda CPD ebolile. They see their mayor, they say, this CPD really is out of the world the way it is in terms of the challenges that it is faced with. So we need to bring those solutions. With these remarks, we wish to once again congratulate you on your achievements, and we trust that you'll encourage those who are still pursuing their studies, particularly the PhD candidates, to follow on your footsteps. And they must work hard. Give them that, inspire them to continue to work hard. Those who are dropouts, they must also be reconnected with the system so that they can continue to serve our people. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
But Mayor, can I hijack you to come back to the stage as you will be handing over the bouquet of flowers to Professor Roberts.
Let's stand there.
we are also going to give Professor Roberts just an off-the-cuff remarks, Prof. You can say whatever you want at your level and your contribution. You have a license.
Well, I must say this is entirely unexpected. I came here, thought I was going to have a quiet breakfast with colleagues, but thank you so very much for this acknowledgement. I cannot tell you what it means. I'm certainly one of the people who joined local government after the move to democracy. I came with a doctorate. But I can tell you the greatest knowledge I've gained has been the 30 years working in local government. Never undervalue the importance of the work that you do, the knowledge that you generate. It can transform our city, but importantly lead to new global conversations. The mayor has really indicated the importance of thinking about bigger issues of justice and equity across the natural systems, across society. And those are the tough calls that we need to make now, is how we move forward in a very, very difficult world. And so really don't rest on your laurels. A PhD means that you've shown the world that you can generate knowledge, but that means nothing unless you use that knowledge to change the world. And that's the really important task we take on, is let's benefit from our studies. It's an important individual contribution and achievement. Let's celebrate each other. But unless you use that knowledge to change things around you, why did you do it anyway? And I think that's where we've got to be introspective. Are we using our knowledge to change our city, to improve it, the lives of the people who live in it, the people who live and dream in this city, the important environment that we're custodians of? We've got to hand over this incredibly biodiverse city to generations still to come. What are we playing? What role are we playing in ensuring that that happens in a sustainable and equitable way? And the challenge has never been greater. When I was an early career scientist, I thought, well, by the time I get to retirement, we would have solved all of these big problems. I can tell you now that the challenges are more profound, they are deeper than they were 30 years ago, and never have you been more needed than you are now. I certainly stand ready to continue to work with the city even after retirement, sharing knowledge, helping build knowledge, because you're a powerful resource for society. And really just to acknowledge the Vice Chancellor here, we've got an incredible tertiary institution who, with really exciting academics, has reached out to this municipality in the form of research partnerships, supporting our work. That's a conversation that we need to continue. We need to build those really strong links between our tertiary institutions and the work that we do here as local government, because unless you inform action with knowledge, you're blind. We literally will be blind. But importantly, we need to ensure that the action we take also informs the work of the knowledge brokers at the university, because they're better able to direct their resources if they benefit from our local knowledge. And so really, Prof, wonderful to have you here. Thank you for celebrating with us. I really hope we continue that journey to work together, because we all work in a knowledge community. We're all interested in generating knowledge to change the lives of people. So thank you, colleagues. It's been an honor and a privilege to work with you over the last 3 decades. I'll still be on the outside looking in. I will continue to be active and hope to engage with you, working on those solutions, because that's what this is, the decade of action. We've all got to get out of our chairs, cast off these red gowns, get back into the trenches and drive change. So thank you. It's a great honor, a great surprise. I'm deeply honored and humbled, and thank you again very much.
Thank you very much, Prof. We are thanking you for thanking us. The mayor put a challenge here that people there must be upward mobility from being doctors to professors. And I'm thinking, the acting city manager must sign Section 36 so that we get a service provider who is going to fast track. Without wasting time, in our midst, we have Prof. Mashabela, who will be doing, making remarks according to the program, which we greatly need. Obviously, like myself, he did not get a brief that he should wear the gowns and professorship. He's an esteemed professor, a clinician. I can say a lot about him, but he's one of the greatest contributors to knowledge as we understand it. Prof, part of the work that you should do to accommodate the likes of myself, you know, there's been a call that you must decolonize education, decolonize. I'm part of that call because I want to study along the lines of African traditions and practices across the board, but I'm more interested in studying witchcraft. And I'm sure colonial education can't go that route. So as long as I'm not studying, I must know that somebody, I do not have a supervisor. So there's no one with knowledge around, flying around in a broom. So we are, Professor, without wasting time, the Prof will be speaking to us.
Thank you very much, Program Director. I'm happy to supervise you on matters of witchcraft. The first lesson will be that witchcraft, the word witchcraft itself, is a colonial term. So we have to start there. Some of us, we prefer to call it African magic, not because it's magic, just because it achieves things that other people don't understand. And that is it. It's about opening ourselves up to things that are beyond our understanding. You see, now when we start going in that route, we are now going to be developing a topic, Program Director. And we might be able to trace you back into the system. You know, we used to do tracing programs for TB and HIV. So we know how to trace and bring people back. Even if they come up with excuses around witchcraft, we'll still find ways to overcome. Your Worship, the Mayor, my Councillor, Bob Madlala, Acting City Manager, the academics that are here, the professors that are here, the PhD holders that are here, the PhD aspirants, the leadership of the municipality, Program Director, allow me to rise on the protocols that have been stated before me. I am deeply, deeply honored to be invited here. I had no idea of what I was walking into, Mr. Mayor. When I was invited, I thought that I was going to find one or two people that have obtained PhDs. But look at this room. Look at this room. I am sitting down here and I'm listening to the conversations, and I feel privileged to be in the room, to be listening to matters that are being raised here. I feel privileged. I did not expect that the tables would be turned. You know the arrogance of academics. You get invited and you think, yeah, no, I'm the one who's the highlight here. But actually, I have to say that to sit here and listen to the different stories, even in the way that they are delivered with humor, about people doing, including the dropouts. These are amazing stories of just showing how much people aspire. And I ask myself, as a university, do we really understand these stories? We claim to be a university of this province, but do we understand these stories? So I am challenged as it is. I am very, very challenged by all of you. The fact that there are so many of you, the fact that you're all embedded in practice. 30 years with a PhD in practice and learning from the reality on the ground and fighting the battles. And yet we are sitting in our ivory towers, isn't it? In academia. And we present at conferences. We never take the time to come and sit with you and have these conversations. But if I'm invited to an international conference in America and in London, I go running. Does that not show the problem? It shows the problem. We cannot be claiming to want to serve our country when actually we are just in it for ourselves, looking elsewhere, to the north. To your point, Program Director, about decolonization, we can't just be looking to the north. We're putting ourselves under so much pressure to think that even the solutions to our problems are going to come from the north. And yet we've got people in a room like this, Your Worship, who have been trained on how to think critically, how to navigate uncertainty. For me, this is the most powerful thing about obtaining a PhD. I know that for many of us, it is a highlight to get to the point where you get the red gown and you get the title of doctor. That is important. I do not underestimate that at all. It is very important. It's a major achievement, it's a major accomplishment. But the biggest asset is in your ability to take something we don't know and help us to understand it and generate new knowledge. That's your ability. Let me give you an example, because an example that many of you would know that I understand is COVID. When you are hit with a problem like COVID, where you have so much you don't know, you don't understand, you need thinkers to help you navigate that. Does that make sense? You need people who have learned how to address questions that have not been answered before and figure out how to answer them. And that's why, for most of us, a PhD, it's not the end, it's the beginning of a journey. It's the beginning of a journey of 30 years, 40 years, not the end. So when Professor Roberts say, don't rest on your laurels, that's what it means. It means that don't get your degree and think that it's the end. It's the beginning. It's the beginning of where you begin to showcase your ability to navigate uncertainty. We live in challenging times. We live in challenging times. The problems of today and tomorrow are going to get more and more and more complex. As universities, we are having an identity crisis because we can no longer operate the way we used to operate in our limited disciplines. It is good to develop your expertise in a discipline, but the problems that we face today require us to work together with people in other disciplines, disciplines that we don't understand. That's why we talk about transdisciplinary approaches. We don't really know how to navigate that. It's complex for us. We had a day of internationalization, and Colin Pillay presented, and he said something to the effect of cooperation and collaboration is the new competition. I was blown away by that. And that's what it means. It means that you will not be able to solve the problems of today and tomorrow on your own. Never. You will go around in circles. We're facing the same crisis in the university. The days of universities being ivory towers are ending. Otherwise, we are not going to be sustainable. We won't survive as universities. We won't be relevant. There won't be a need for you to come and be in the university. In fact, someone said, why is it that universities don't have professors of practice? Speaking to the point that you're raising, Mayor, that these people here may not necessarily be interested in becoming academic professors as we know it, as it has always been. But they just may be interested in becoming professors of practice. And this is why, for me, I think that universities in themselves are colonial institutions. And we need to Africanize them. Maybe not decolonize them. I don't know how you do that. But maybe we need to Africanize them, localize them, such that they can serve our needs, our problems, and they can operate in ways that can effectively solve our problems. So when I hear a story of Professor Robert working very closely with our university professor, Professor Sloto, to solve the problems in this city, I am encouraged. I hear other stories that are similar, but I want to hear more. I don't necessarily think that you must change and be something that you are not, that you don't even wish to be, but I think that you can work with other people who think differently, who do things differently, and form those teams. Those teams of people. Someone is practical, someone is a thinker, someone is a facilitator, someone is a networker, someone does this, someone is a communicator. My goodness, the biggest challenge we faced during COVID was how to communicate science to the public. People wanted information live as it came brand new. They wanted to know, because not knowing creates so much anxiety, so much confusion, so much misinformation. In itself, it becomes a crisis. But academics, we are not taught how to communicate with the public. We don't really know how. We don't know how to do it. You may have the knowledge, but you may not necessarily know how to deliver it. Just because you have expertise doesn't mean that you can teach, doesn't mean that you can communicate. Someone else can listen to you and repackage that piece of information and deliver it more effectively to a local community than you can ever do as an academic. So I sit in this room and I look around and I see people who have been effectively trained to navigate uncertainty. That is your asset. When, Mr. Mayor, you are dealing with a problem that you don't know what the answers are to it, that is new, that you have not encountered before, these are the people that are skilled to tackle that. That's what they've been trained for. We don't train them to just get a PhD. We don't train them to just do research. We can train a master's if we want to train someone to learn how to do research, not these guys. At a master's level, yes, we train you how to do research. You know how to do research. If you want people that can come and do research, hire master's people. They'll come and do the research for you. But if you want people to tackle problems that we don't have answers to, here they are. Most importantly, these are the people that I see as the bridges. They are the bridges because they can sit somewhere in a space between the city and the university in ways other people cannot. Not just in this province, internationally as well, where you need expertise from other countries, from abroad if necessary. They can effectively speak the language to this side and also speak the language this side. They are the bridges, and you have to know, colleagues, that you are the bridge. You may sit in local government and feel like you are underutilized. And I am happy to hear the chair of governance saying that platforms will be created for your expertise to be exploited. I want to see that. I want to see you be the brain power of the city. I want to see you be the think tank of the city. I want to see you be the people that are going to break those boundaries. But you don't have to do it alone. You have a huge expertise of many universities in the city. Top universities, huge expertise. I sit at UKZN with 1,300 academics, permanent. I'm not including part-time people. Part-time people, it'll be 2,000. Just UKZN alone. I have not included MUT or DUT. You are the bridge, because if you come to UKZN, I'm going to listen to you. I will take you seriously. Isn't it we live in a biased world of hierarchy? So if you're going to come with a doctor title, I will take you seriously, right? So use that. Use that privilege. You don't have to do the research. When the mayor presents a problem to you that is complex, you just need to understand the approach and bring in a team that can help you to solve it. But when you come to my office, oh yeah, I'm going to listen to you. And you say, oh yeah, I've got a PhD from here at UKZN. And I'll be like, oh, come, sit. What did you study? Oh, I studied the economics of this and this. But Prof, I've got a problem. This is what I would like to deal with. Who are the experts that I can work with? And I'm like, oh yeah, so and so and so and so. And when I tell them to go and work with you, they won't say no. Because as universities, we cannot anymore exist to just simply generate knowledge that does not translate into impact. We can't. We need to see demonstrable societal impact. When I say demonstrable, it means that we have to demonstrate it. You can't say you're doing it, that's not enough. You can't say you're thinking of doing it, that's not enough. We also have to learn to reward people for engaging in work that result in societal impact, because that's what will change people's lives positively. Otherwise, research takes time to translate into impact. We are having to adopt new forms of science, like dissemination science, translation science, implementation science. All of this we have to adopt, because it speaks directly to practice. There is so much sense of agency in our society. People are tired of waiting to see the difference. We are feeling the pressure in the universities. But we also demonstrated during COVID that When we hold our hands together, when we channel ourselves, we can do a lot in a short space of time. I was shocked when I heard that a doctoral candidate developed a model that could be used by the city when we needed to send water tanks to different places, that could show where to send those tanks. Doctoral candidate. This is the brain power we have in the province. Are we using it? Not adequately. I know you have received many mandates, but one that I'm going to ask is use us as universities. And there is no better person who's going to have access into the university than yourselves. You know the language, you know the culture, you know the capabilities, but also do not make a mistake of taking the university and academia and putting it above the reality of the people on the ground that you are immersed in. Put what you are doing above everything else and let that inform what you are doing. I need to take orders from you. You don't have to take orders from me. You need to tell me what the problem is, what the priority is, what is it that needs to be done. And I can then channel what we know, the skills, the expertise, the resources to addressing that you think is important. Do not look down on yourselves. You have achieved these goals. These degrees that you have are your license, your permit to providing leadership in terms of navigating uncertainty, complex problems in this province, directing the resources that we have in this province, directing the teams that we have in this province in terms of solving these complex challenges that we have. I invite you to use us as universities, and I'm not speaking here only about UKZN, I'm also speaking of DUT, I'm speaking of MUT. I invite you to be open to forming teams from different disciplines, people who think differently but can think together. I invite you to channel us towards the real problems that people face so that we can come up with solutions. Use us. I'd like to congratulate all of you for what we have achieved. Encourage those of you that are aspiring to join your ranks. And I'm looking forward to working with all of you very closely. Thank you very much for the invitation. Much appreciated, Program Director.
Thank you very much, Professor. You can tell that it's the professor who's speaking. Usually when you speak and you say things at my level, people ask you who said that, who is the source. You must acknowledge. But if it's a professor, yeah. Sibonga kakhulu. For encouraging myself, Prof, to rethink around my status. The mayor is going to come here to hand over on my behalf. Can we have the angizukusuka kulesi sithombe. Ngisuke kakhulu. Can we have this table coming here so that we are then able to hand over to PhD holders. We'll start with PhD holders, and if we still have enough. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, if I can have this table. So that the acting city manager can then receive from the mayor. Then we'll have a photo, just a photo of this table. We will then continue. Acting. Yes. Yeah, if you can have Prof, then this photo, we are then going to allow the mayor, njengoba ngike ngasho earlier, will then continue. Can we have all PhD holders quickly coming here for this one photo? Then we'll allow the mayor to the next assignment. We'll continue with the activity here. Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed academics, can we will allow Ubab Mayor Ubab Madlala to rush to the next assignment. In fact, in terms of time, they've exceeded what was expected, but it was for the good cause. Can we then ask both the acting city manager and the both professors to hand over to the PhD holders. Ngizocela usizo la. Team yami singishile. In no order, we'll simply hand them over in terms of the tables. I'm sure we have more than enough. So that's why even the candidates will get them. I doubt if we'll do the same to dropouts though. Yeah, mhlawumbe if we can start, we'll start from this table then, yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, we have not necessarily concluded our program. I also want to say to our professors and PhD holders and the aspirant academics, we have breakfast that's being served there. They are refilling those chefing dishes there. So if you go there and you find something that it's not in an order that you'll expect it, because we started utilizing them before time, but they are refilling them. We've received that. To conclude the matters, we are going to request the acting city manager to make the closing remarks. The acting city manager being Ubaba Dogotela Umusa Gumede, that we all know. I'm sure you want me to give his history as he comes, but he was once an HOD for health, and he was held ransom at some point by Amadela Ngokubona. It's part of his CV.
Yeah, those are my struggle credentials. Ladies and gentlemen, I heard today that you rise on the protocol that has already been established before. I heard from the professor, so I rise on that protocol. Master of Ceremonies, Mr. Sithole, the head in the mayoral parlor, Professor Roberts, congratulations on the University. How do you pronounce it? University of Twente. We saw that they honored you and conferred on you an honorary doctorate. Congratulations. I think Cape Town did the same as well, and Rhodes did the same as well. So this is acknowledgement of work done. It's not a fluke. If maybe it was just my unit conferring, they would say, maybe there is something between the two of them. Now, in so many universities confers that there is something that everyone in the world is seeing in what we are doing. Thank you very much for being here. We know how busy you are. So honoring us, I think, indicates that you really feel this is your home. This is your home. I hope you've inspired a lot of us here to use our workspaces in order to solve problems. I think you have stood alone at times. We've been on the other side at times, and you've been on this side at times when development was being proposed, and we're looking at rents and cents, rates, future, and you said, think environment. I think over time, the city has embraced the climate project, and I think the mayor is now in the forefront of saying we want development, but not with interference on how the future generation will live. So congratulations on that. I think you've schooled us over the years, and we now just behind you, and we'll support you on that call. Congratulations. I think we have over 38, if I'm not mistaken, PhDs in the city. I do not know if UKZN is too far from us. Maybe we should be declared a university. I can confirm that maybe besides UKZN, we're probably the second, if I take out UNISA and UKZN, maybe the second highest cluster of PhDs in one place. Which means that we can actually produce a lot of knowledge in this space. You must think about it. Besides that, we wake up at 6:30 and walk with the mayor, but there is a call that is being made to say use your information that you generate on a daily basis to change the world and change the thinking of people. That has been the call today, and I'm just emphasizing on what has been said. Looking at the colors in each of your, what do you call this thing? Hoods. On your hoods indicates, I can tell there's someone there in management sciences. I can tell there's someone there either in business or something, or finance. You look there, there's someone in health, someone in culture there. You can see the diversity. There are clinical people, there are people from climate, there are people from environment, there are engineers at the back. So the amount of knowledge here, I think if we fail as a city and they drop one notch down, I'll be ashamed as a person who was in this room that with all of us here, we still could not hold the ball. We still drop the ball. So it's a huge tag on our back to make sure that even if things go down, remember, there are people there who would say, but there is voice in that institution, how could it? You know, just knowing that there is voice in this institution, there are people who have hope that it won't fall beyond a certain level. So let's make sure that we use what we've attained to propel this institution forward. But my aim here is to thank you. Thank you for thinking of us, those who organized, the unit that organized, the professor. He's run to Lesotho, he's gone to Lesotho, Ngubane. He's got a training there by UN, so he's gone there, CIFAL training that he's going to give in Lesotho. So he had a 11 o'clock flight, so he's ran out. So we thank him and his team for thinking about this. He said, I must ask all of you to write at least one paper this year, next year, at least one paper. He showed me a paper that he's written recently that has been published, and he says, please publish one as well in 2024 in your field. Whatever you are doing now, just take it forward one step and publish it. Otherwise, those like Professor Mushaba, Musa Mashabelo. Mushabela. Yeah. This morning I was talking to Lennox Mabaso. He's based in Pretoria now. So he says, hey, since ngifikile la bangibiza ngomabasa. So I'm doing the same as what I was telling me in the morning, that you come to a different province and people start pronouncing your surname how they think it should be pronounced. Sorry about that. Thank you for coming here. I know both of you are very busy people, but it means this is important for you to come here. We are hopefully going to have this in the following years. I hope it's part of the program of the city to encourage others. I think the mayor is really interested in this program because he called all of us to Claremont last year, to a stadium in Claremont, and introduced us to workers, fellow workers. For him to take it one step further and have a breakfast for us, I think he really has an interest in making sure that this program grows and in inspiring other people. In his office alone, besides Mosi, he's been able to inspire Reggie. Reggie is from the mayor's office. There's also another chap next to, from the mayor's office who's sitting there, Mbui. He was also inspired. There's a third one who's not here, Ngobo, who's also there. So there are 3 PhDs around the mayor. Mosi is almost a candidate. So next year, I'll call him a candidate. So this, to me, says, let's not take this lightly. There's real inspiration that is trying to, throw at us. And let's grab it and move it forward and take it forward. Otherwise, enjoy your breakfast. Declare the day over after breakfast, but I'm only acting. My powers to declare holidays are not there. So, yeah, enjoy yourself. Thank you very much.